Hey my lovely listeners, welcome to my channel. So in this session, I'm going to discuss a very important as well as interesting topic that is called depiction of gender in popular culture. Or we can say that how popular culture portrayed the role of gender. Friends, in this topic, you will find a few videos over YouTube. But here today, I'm going to discuss all the possible phases of portraying the gender role in popular culture. So, in order to understand how gender is portrayed in popular culture, we have to first bring forth the idea of gender role in culture and popular culture.
So here let me tell you one thing clear that this is not about male-female intercourse or intimacy. This is about the male and female role that is portrayed in popular culture. Okay. So the gender role, in popular culture, difficult to understand. Sometimes they try to show the equality of both men and women. Sometimes they put forth the question that whether it is possible to live in a society where there is an equality for both sex. So let's discuss about it, okay? So at first we have to know about the culture. What is popular culture? What is gender? So friends, what is culture? What do we mean about culture? So culture is actually an umbrella term, means it encompasses the social behavior, the social norms that are found in human society. It is also encompasses the broad knowledges, beliefs, arts, laws, customs, capabilities and habits of individuals in each and every cultural groups. Take for example Indian culture. Indian culture is obviously vast and each of the community, each of the states has its own cultural aspects. So this is what culture generally means. So now let's talk about popular culture, which is also called as pop culture, mass culture. So it is a set of practices, beliefs and objects that embody the most broadly shared meanings of a social system. And popular culture is one of the major aspects of socialization through which people learn norms and values. And it is also closely intertwined with gender in many ways. Okay. So popular culture plays a great role in the production as well as reproduction of gender norms, gender subjects as well as sex. The medias of popular cultures like TV, means television, film, music, performances, magazines, comics, novels, games, fashion, advertising, even a mass address can be called as the medium of popular culture. So popular culture represents a set of values and beliefs about masculinity and femininity that are dominant in a given culture at a given time. So this is the most important thing. You have to understand this, that popular culture represents the culture at a given time. Take for example the mediums of popular cultures of India represents the culture of a given time. Okay. Take for example, if one film is dealing with ancient topic, then it will represent the ancient culture. Okay. But there is also a difference because nowadays popular culture of one country like films, music, very performances, web series, they try to show the culture of other countries also. So thus there can be seen a cultural transmission in the mediums of popular culture. Okay.
So friends, now let's talk about how the mediums of popular culture like television, films, portrayed gender roles in different ways.
Gender tends to denote the social as well as cultural role of each sex. So it means that gender tends to denote the social and cultural role of both men and women within a given society. Okay. So apart from being assigned by their given genetics, people, means both male and female, develop their gender roles in response to their environment, including the family interactions, the social interactions. For example, there is certain role for each man and women, like men can do this, women cannot do this. There are some types of rules and regulations for men as well as strictly for women. And now we need to talk about transgender as well as homosexuality and heterosexuality in relation to sex and gender. So sometimes a person's genetically assigned sex doesn't line up with their gender identity. These people are called transgender. So now let's talk about homosexuality. So homosexuality is actually a sexual attraction between members of the same sex. Okay. So society do not accept the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender individuals. And the culture that is shown by these individuals are called queer culture or LGBT culture. So now let's talk about the role of both male, female, homosexual people, heterosexual people, popular culture. So actually, if we talk about both male-female identity, then popular culture trying to eradicate the social distinction between the two gender roles. They, to some extent, largely try to show the equality between the two sexes. Okay, but now if we talk about transgender and homosexual people in Indian television, in Indian film as well as in Indian media, their roles are highly suppressed because society as well as culture of a given time, of a given place do not accept them wholeheartedly. That's why to some extent their roles are highly suppressed, but all thanks to the new generation, to the OTT platform where these things are given importance. Okay, take for example the film Lakshmi Bomb, that is based on the story of a transgender woman. Okay, so now let's talk about the role of both men and women that are portrayed in especially television serials and films. Okay, so the daily soap actually comes with the idea of showing basically male dominance, and then women takes a stand for herself as well as for other women also. Okay, but they also highly subscribe to the patriarchal view. Take for example the famous viral line "Rasore mein kaun tha? मैं थी, तुम थी या राशि थी." Okay, so it clearly demonstrates that the household duties are performed only and especially by women. So now let's talk about films. Okay, so there is also difference. Some of the films showcases the women empowerment wholeheartedly. Take for example the films like Gulab Gang, then Mardani. These films actually try to bring forth the equality of both the sexes. So now let's talk about how films actually showcases the truth by showing the views of ancient patriarchal society, as well as they also give a proposed solution in order to eliminate those ancient views. So for example, take the film Padman. It shows that a man shows the concern for the sanitary hygiene of women. So actually friends, this is the picture of society. Even nowadays, some of us can openly discuss about sanitation. But there is still a taboo among women who feel shy as well as a sin of even talking about these topics. And from ancient times, women were not allowed to raise their voice and they didn't even try to. But still, there are some revolutionary female legends whose important contribution for women are written in golden letters in the pages of history. So, on one hand, men tried to suppress women. But if we see the examples of the historical figures of men like Mahatma Gandhi ji, so he is also a man, but this type of men worked for women empowerment. Okay, so friends, now you are thinking that why I am bringing these references. So actually, in the film Padman, it shows that the simple village girls can't talk openly about their periodic problems, and then there comes a Masiha, there comes a man, in order to show concern for the sanitary hygiene of women. So it also shows that apart from the broad male domination, there are still such men who think for women. Okay, and now let's talk about advertising media. So we all know Fair and Lovely, Fair and Handsome. So they subscribe to the view that only fair and lovely women, fair and handsome women can get attention. But still there are also some positive aspects of advertisement that also exists, that also ends up by the message of male and female unity or the unity between the both sexes. Okay.
Okay, so now if we have to talk about the role of media in giving equal chance to men and women, reporters, then we can say that nowadays they are given equal chance to come out.
Both male and female are represented in almost same manner, because nowadays the women also get a chance to cover up report from some dangerous situations as well as some dangerous places.
Okay, so friends, now let's talk about that how the role of gender, which is shown in the pop culture, especially in films, especially in web films, web series, that put a negative impact.
While dealing with the negative aspect, at first we need to tell about slang.
So now you are thinking that as we are discussing about the role of gender in popular culture, so what's the importance of discussing about slangs here?
Guys, let me tell you, there is the need of talking about slangs. Why? Because most of the slangs, or we can say all the slangs that are used, are female body oriented as well as female sexuality oriented. So just give it a thought, okay? In every culture, women were worshipped as goddess, where she is a mother figure. Still she is objectified, still she is abused, still her sexuality is used as slang. And nowadays, slangs are very common in any web series, in any films of OTT platform, as well as YouTube videos. How to forget about YouTube, right? And forget about men. We females often used to say those slangs that are female body oriented. So guys, this is another devastating, crude as well as negative side of culture as well as popular culture. Because as I said that nowadays these slangs become a part of dialogues in films, in web series and in YouTube also. Okay, so after this, now let's talk about another negative aspect of popular culture. Nowadays the lyrics of music present women as gold digger. They present women in such a way that they are always demanding. Take for example the popular songs like Manu Lehenga La De, then Manu Jutti La De, and all these things, all these shits actually.
So after all this, now let's talk about the so-called feministic attitude of women that is portrayed in popular culture.
So here, in many of the films, in many of the web series, actually many of the web series, girls used to take the responsibility of teasing a boy, molesting a boy, in order to just give it a name of equality, as well as in order to give this name feminism, just to show that they are strict feminists. So for this reason, for the sake of feminism, women are shown in reckless ways, sometimes with a cigarette or with a bottle of wine in their hand. So at last but not the least, let's talk about the showing of nudity in popular culture. Okay, so as I said before that popular culture shows the culture at a given time. Okay, so African, American, Indian, Japanese, all the popular cultures are quite different from one another, as I said before, because it goes with their own cultural beliefs. Okay, but now they are quite interrelated together, because nowadays the foreign influence, the foreign culture seems highly in the Indian popular culture. Take for examples the Hollywood film. The Hollywood film as a media of popular culture openly shows nudity, because in that culture they are accepted. Okay, but in case of Indian cinema, especially those they are showcased in television, to some extent they eliminated itself from showing the open nudity or adult content because of the censor board. Okay, but nowadays a film gets low response from viewers, from audience, if there is no male-female intimacy as well as nudity. And that's why the OTT platforms nowadays gained huge response.
So friends, these are the positive as well as negative aspects of the role of gender that is portrayed in popular culture.
So friends, here I am saying again that these are personally my opinion regarding it. So here I am not disrespecting as well as disregarding any of the culture of India as well as any other countries. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching this video,
and if you have more civilized thoughts about the role of gender in popular culture, then please let me know through comments. So bye for now, see you in the next session very soon.